Hi Taurus, welcome to your July reading. I hope you guys are all doing very well despite everything going on in the world. I hope you are safe and I hope you are supported. So this is going to be a general reading for the month of July. I think I'm going to come back more often now that I have some space and some time. I was kind of stuck in with my family where I wasn't able to have my own space, but now I'm not. So I wanted to talk a little bit very quickly about something that I'm doing here. I'm in Mexico at the moment, and I'm working with some of the most beautiful, wonderful, kind-hearted people in the world that I've met. The situation here in Mexico is quite dire. It's kind of beyond the point where it's like saving businesses. Everything's kind of already closed. There's already for sale and rent signs everywhere. It's more about helping people eat. So I've kind of been working with these lovely people who offer free programs for low-income children. Their kind of slogan is sports instead of gangs. Fight for peace, and they offer, boxing, they offer self-defense classes, and it's completely free. These people, if there was, what was that show? Extreme Makeover, Home Edition, remember those shows? This would be the people that would qualify. It's like they just give for, there's no ulterior motive except for they know what it's like to not have the support system, the family system, and what does that lead to. So these people, to me, in my opinion, they're heroes. So especially coaches. There's one amazingly kind kid. He just made the Mexican Olympic team, and he teaches in exchange for food, and they're at the point where they're no longer able to do this, so he's going to have to kind of leave his dream. Anyways, I would just like to be of any assistance I can, and I would like to extend that opportunity to you if you felt in your heart that you had maybe an extra $5 or so. I know it's very difficult times, but I just would like to let you know that it would go directly. Nothing would be taken by me. It would be directly given into the hands of some really deserving people and needy people. So with that said, let's get into your reading. You guys have some, it's almost like, it's kind of, I'm seeing like a diamond in my mind's eye, this really strong, firm, like the hardest, completely, most beautiful creation that's been going on for a long time. This hasn't been easy for you guys. This has been a long time creating, and we're just at the point where I feel like a lot of you have completely shed all of your layers. I mean, there's always more to go. Granted, this is life, but I feel like a lot of you have had many spiritual aha moments, very profound, very life-altering. I think I did a reading. Did I do it for you guys? It came up in a reading a while ago where I was talking about how Tauruses, naturally, it's in your essence to be there for people. And I feel like a lot of this reading is about what do you need? What do you want to have brought into your life at this point in time? Because it's interesting because I'm getting a lot of cards about conflict and letting things fall away, despite the fact that you have been this person that's always been there for people. So I don't know if this has specifically happened for you. So I feel like for some of you, this can be extremely hurtful. I want to say, if that has happened to you, whether it's friends, family, typically it hurts us most when it's the people closest to us. I want to say, let that fall away gracefully. It might have needed to, but I also see this turning point that's happening for us. And I want to say the next, Mars and Aries, the next few months are going to kind of change the world completely. I mean, it's inevitable with that type of energy. Releasing that amount of, I mean, that's internal war, in my opinion. What inside of you is that conflict? What does it need to be released? Because I see, look at these 2 cards that came out for you. Actually, 3 cards. Let me see if I put them in the right succession. Here we go. So the first one that came out was 9 of Air, which is hurt. This is an owl shedding some feathers. I mean, this can be due to stress, right? Or maybe your hair falls out when you're too stressed, or something falls away from you. This could be a metaphor, right? People, ideas, jobs. But with the owl, there's always wisdom. There's always a greater, you can always spin things to see if you have faith. That needed to happen. Because with the 2 of Cups, I mean, cups are always fulfillment. It talks about emotional content. 2 of Cups, it's almost like there's something coming within grasp in your life. And it feels like it's through an external source. So, I mean, for example, if I was to put this in regards to what I'm talking about with raising money, right, for people that just want to eat, right? Falling away would be the stuff I work so hard for, okay, but what truly matters, and then getting help and having insight. It's like almost like this renewed faith in, right, they say, faith is forged in the valley of the shadow of death, right, not on the mountaintops. Here it is. So, I mean, especially if you've been struggling financially, I feel like there's some sort of assistance coming in. If you've been feeling extremely alone, introspective, dealing with your shadow side, there's something here on the other side of it that you needed to release to make space for it. So if you've been, praying for years for soulmate type energy, well, you finally released some heavy, deep-seated patterns. And I think a lot of us needed this kind of kick in the butt to kind of see what's most important. Human-to-human connection, supporting people that are local, right? Businesses that do it right, having this insight into what we're all kind of scrambling to reconfigure our, it's almost our structure, how we do things, how we see things. So starting off with your spread, you have the 5 of Pentacles in the center crossed by the Queen of Swords. To me, there is some insight, again, within the struggle. There's a purpose for it. There's a reason for it. It's not for nothing. It's not to torture you. It's to bring us all up, right? I think we're all realizing how connected and how important we all are together. Because it's interesting, as we go through this time period, I feel like July, things are turning around. It's interesting, I see a lot of insight, a lot of truths coming out. I don't know how some of you are going to deal with this, because with so many, you have the Ace of Swords, the Queen of Swords, the Page of Swords. But as we get past this, I don't know if this is a warning or this is a, again, just, I feel like this is liberation, honestly. I feel like, take American news, for example. There's something new every day. At this point, not much is going to surprise any of us. That's actually kind of a nice way to be. Not saying that these difficult things or these unfortunate things are great. I'm saying to be open to the good things to happen, because I think they're coming. Look at this. I feel financial security for coming for a lot of you. If you have been out of something, I feel like this period that's happening right now, it's a reconfiguration for what your subconscious wants to let you know you're moving towards. This is creating that inner diamond, that inner rock within you. I'm positive, I'm going this way, I'm changing in this way, this is what's important to me, or this is how my time wants to be spent, this is the way I'm doing it, this is the way I'm going forward. Nothing's going to change that. It's interesting though, you have a lot of cards with two people on it. You have the Two of Cups again, and you have your outcome being the Ten of Pentacles, which is for a Taurus, that's beautiful. You know, I want to talk a little bit. I don't usually do this in readings. Occasionally people ask me, honestly, I get mostly love questions, but occasionally people ask me about investing and where to place their money. I'm seeing it all over your reading, but I want to say it's actually quite an important time to invest the money that you do have in good places. Smart places, especially when we're talking about, again, broken record here, Uranus and Taurus. I mean, we knew that this was going to shift how we deal with money. Again, another example, the US printing a lot of money right now. There's going to be a shift. We see this if we see behind the scenes. And I've been saying this for 5 years. I did this, I don't know how many years ago, a lot of years ago, put all my money into physical gold, put it in a bank, not in a bank, in a coffee tin, dug a hole, you know. For some reason, I mean, you could go many directions with this, but I feel like the physicality of like commodities, how do I explain this better? Okay, so for example, somebody last year asked me what would be a good investment this year, and there were 3 things. I always say, you know, physical gold, silver, but what came up also was pharmaceuticals, and I said specifically U.S. companies, which now to me seems kind of like an ominous warning, but at the time, and then it was also I think people that make things. You get like car companies, like you see Tesla. I don't know now, but if you did in March, you'd be great. And I also felt things like, I mean, of course, there's like a moral thing here, gas and oil. I mean, undeniably, these things came up, and it all has to do with the shift. Where things aren't going to be such a intangible thing, if that makes sense. There's something going to be behind things, and I think that system is going to change for your benefit. Regardless if you take my advice here, things are going to change for your benefit, and I think that the need that I've been pushing for Taurus to know exactly what they want to do if money was no option is really going to come into play. It's going to continue to come into play. So let's keep going. I mean, Two of Cups to me looks like there's somebody here on the horizon. If you're not already in a partnership, to me this is collaborating with other people. This is coming into union in some sort of way, especially if, like if you're a singer collaborating with other people. The success thing, though, to me, looking at these cards, it's almost not immediate. So to me, what that says, it has to be a passion project. It has to have meaning to you. So if you're at a job right now, that's all well and fine. I don't see that going anywhere. But I see there's something else on your mind. It's almost like an in-between. It's not so much that you are never going to go after the passion project. It's in between for a reason, because it's, you know, that you are capable of creating more. That's what drives you. That's what pushes you. That's what this insight is all about. And I feel like you meet somebody, especially if you're single, along the way that kind of just matches very well to this. It's telling me you've been manifesting very well. You continue to. You know exactly what you want. You know exactly what you're worth. I'm getting earthy vibes from this person. Again, I feel like they are going to really dig your groundedness. Yeah, and I just pulled a card to clarify how this person comes in. It says divine intervention. It says you may feel frustrated because something stalls or comes to a standstill. Progress seems painfully slow, yet this is a blessing. It's divine intervention at work. When the timing is in perfect harmony, all will come to fruition. You are not forgotten. You are not left behind. In some sense, to me, it feels like there's like a clear marker here. I mean, we will all remember this time in our lives. Globally, there's a marker here. Before this, after this. Know what you want right now. Know where you're going. I see a lot of stability, and I see a lot of people. I feel like I'm being drawn to 2021, 2022, 2023, like starting families. It's almost, it's interesting. I'm being drawn in two directions. I see a return to the home, the importance of the home, the importance of the attachment to the land, the importance of land, the importance of Mother Earth. But I also see another direction. I see a clear kind of blast off, and it's tied into it's taking me to outer space, but to me I could tie that to like a technological revolution or advancement, and I could connect that to like a spiritual, feels both to me. It's interesting how that will play out. Okay, so I pulled another card. I just want to read it. It says, you're cracked open. You've reached rock bottom. Surrender to the alchemy of life. And it says, don't let the weight and destiny of the world squash your spirit. Instead, let it call even more of it home, into your body. At the center of your life, it is through the extreme pressure of life's trials that diamonds are cultivated. It's when things that are at their darkest that we cultivate proper faith and our light is ignited. It's through the crumbling that we can allow our words to be alchemized. Let your pain, sorrow, and losses make not break you. Let life alchemize your tragedies into gold. Oh my gosh. This is actually a new deck to me, and I actually just took the wrapper off. Two words in here stand out, diamond and gold. Gold stands out to me. Anyways, be open to being cracked open, wide open. It's the difficult times that help us grow in leaps and bounds and in ways we could only dream were possible. But first, they have to crack us open. Sometimes it hurts like hell. It's nature's way. Whether you let it happen or not, it's going to happen. So surrender to the process. It's how the light gets in. When your heart cracks open, a space is created for your soul to be more fully enter. When your heart cracks open, a space is created for your soul to more fully enter. When your soul cracks open, a space is created for the grace of the Holy Spirit to enter. Let your trials, your sorrows, your pain, and your losses transform you into more and more of yourself. Stay open to the possibility that your tragedies, your losses, your sorrows, and your hurt happened for you, not to you. Bless the thing that broke you down and cracked you open because the world needs you open. Surrender to the alchemy of life. Yeah. It's like the example of when people ask me, would I be a good writer? Absolutely. Every single person has a beautiful story to tell to help people. But to me, the juiciest, most transforming things are writing about the things that hurt us the most. That we can feel, we can resonate when we read those words. Because nobody wants to feel isolated and alone. Let's read what I got here. So this one is align your life. What in your life no longer is in alignment with who you truly are. We are cyclic beings in a constant state of change, of evolution, of growth. Change is one of the only certainties in life. When you resist your cyclic nature, you resist life and feel stuck. Many of us have learned to be who the world wants us to be, but there comes a time when it's hard to hold on to this facade than it is to embrace who we truly are, to surrender to how we have changed and align life to that way of being. If you pulled this card, you are being called to let go of who you once were or the things you once defined yourself by, the job, the relationship, and the mask you wore, and to embrace who you truly are now, to courageously step into the person that you came here to be in full authenticity, to embrace your weirdness and your uniqueness. Perhaps you have outgrown some relationships or circumstances, and it is time to reassess and bring all the parts of your life into alignment so that they're congruent with who you are today. Yeah. I was talking with a friend the other day. I love, not only just the people I grew up with, but the people I've met, early on in life, like college and high school, and even beyond that, early years. But at a certain point, it's okay to change, and it's okay to still stay friends. But I feel like at some point, especially on the spiritual path, I find, you suddenly start to find your tribe. And it's not that you don't vibe with the other people, but on some level, you have to be respectful, and you have to allow people to evolve at their own pace, right? This isn't the path for everybody. Not everybody believes in tarot cards. Not everybody believes in, God, spirit. But I feel like, especially in these times, the energy of tolerance and acceptance is, really high on the list. Really high. For you, for Tauruses, because I'm feeling kind of like, you are this diamond, this rock, this person for a lot of people, it's okay to ask for what you need. And actually, a friend of mine sent me these cards just before I left for Mexico. She's a Taurus, and she makes these beautiful cards. They're more like coaching cards. They're called compass cards. I'll leave a link below. Really beautiful. But I just kind of pulled a few, and it says, what do you need? What support do you need right now? What is it costing you if you don't ask for it? What do you wish somebody asked you? And what do you want to be? I feel like this is all circling back to this idea of, yes, we don't want to be alone, but and we don't want to be unsupported, but I feel for Tauruses, you guys you are these people that, in my opinion, you don't need the validation anymore. You've taken responsibility for your life. I want more. I'm going to do more. I'm not going to wait for somebody to help me. This is my life. It's meant to be played with. It's meant to be fun. It's meant to be enjoyable. It's meant to have love in it. It's meant to take risks, right? Because in that book, that story of your life, you can't have the high peaks and the low, deep valleys if you don't risk climbing up one, right? Once you stay in one place, you get bored. Tauruses, we love to be comfortable, but this is absolutely not the time. You don't get a choice. We all don't get a choice. There's no comfort in the shadow work sometimes, but if you change your perspective, I feel like what is on the other side of this? I mean, you have a lot of insight, spiritual growth, and you have love coming in. And I feel also this switch up in the money somehow here. I don't know if you are getting extra support and you're just, being very careful with it, but I feel like there's something here that is significantly changing for you. And I'm being drawn a little bit to the future because it is your outcome. And I do have right below that outcome, the Hanged Man. There is a little bit of waiting. I think things are going to turn out better than you can expect, and you expected, than you dreamed of. When they say bad things come in threes or in succession, it happens. There's the flip side to this as well. The scale balances out, and I feel like for you guys, again, you were forged in this long-term, heavy work. It's really shifting in a big way for you. There's a little bit of an energy here, though, I feel, of laying low almost. It's like tying up internal work and getting ready to take off. That's what I feel. So, beautiful reading. I'm not sure what more I can add. I'll leave all the information below. Again, if you feel like you have an extra few dollars, I feel like just seeing, sheer number of names would be so nice for them, that there is support from around the world, that people that do good things deserve good things, because that's how it should be. All right. So I appreciate all your help and support. Thank you guys for staying with me despite my hiatus. I will be back soon with more.